Have you ever been in a room where everyone seems to be waiting for someone else to take the lead? Maybe it's at work, in your family, or even among your friends. Everyone's looking around the table, wondering who's in charge, who has the title, who has the power, who's supposed to speak first. But, friends, take it from me. Here's the truth. You don't need a title to lead. You can lead from any chair at the table. Leadership isn't about authority, it's about attitude. It's not about position, it's about purpose. And it's not about how loud your voice is, it's about how consistent your heart is. Because I'll tell you what, you can be the quietest person in the room and still be the strongest leader there. If you carry yourself with integrity, compassion, and courage. Leadership is not your title. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you make people feel when they're around you, and how you respond when life doesn't go your way. You see, in this world, titles can impress people, but your character, well, your character will inspire them. The real leaders are often the ones no one notices at first, the ones who step in quietly to help, who lift others up without seeking credit, who show strength through service instead of control. And no one embodied that better than Jesus Christ. When we think about Jesus, we often picture his miracles, calming storms, healing the sick, feeding thousands. But one of his greatest acts of leadership wasn't a miracle at all. It happened in an upper room, at a simple meal with his closest followers. That night, Jesus did something no one expected. He stood up, took off his outer garment, and wrapped a towel around his waist. Then he knelt down and began to wash his disciples' feet, one by one. Now, think about that image for a moment. The King of Kings, the very one who spoke the universe into existence, kneeling to clean dirt from the feet of fishermen and tax collectors. Peter was shocked. He said, "Lord, you will never wash my feet." And Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Think about that. Jesus wasn't just washing their feet. He was washing away their idea of what leadership was supposed to look like. He was showing them that greatness begins with humility. He was teaching them that real leaders don't rise by being served. They rise by serving. You know, you can lead just like that, right where you are. You don't need to wait for a promotion, applause, or approval. You lead when you choose kindness over criticism. You lead when you stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. You lead when you bring calm to chaos, when you listen before you speak, when you serve before you're asked. You lead every time you carry yourself with grace under pressure, faith in uncertainty, and love when it's hardest to give. Maybe at your workplace, leadership looks like mentoring someone new. Maybe at home, it looks like showing patience instead of anger. And maybe in your community, it's volunteering when no one else steps up. But no matter the setting, don't get me wrong, Your chair doesn't determine your impact. Your character does. So, friends, when Jesus said, "Whoever wants to be first must be the servant of all," he turned the world's definition of leadership upside down. Real leadership is not about climbing higher. It's about bending lower. It's not about control. It's about compassion. It's not about power. It's about purpose. So the next time you sit at a table, whether it's in a meeting at home or in your church, don't look for the head of the table. Look for the towel, because that's where leadership begins. Truth. God bless you, my friends.